scalloped potatoes. So I'm adding some sliced Yukon Gold potatoes to a big skillet. I had some melted butter in there. Sprinkle with salt and pepper. Now, there's nothing complicated about this potato recipe, but it does kind of go in stages. I'm gonna add some very thinly sliced onions, and you want them to be thin because you want the onions to have plenty of opportunity, not just to soften, but to really, really cook with the potatoes. Okay, so now I just have to stir and start cooking the potatoes and onions. I'm gonna do that for about 6 to 7 minutes before I move on to the next stage. Okay, so the onions and potatoes are starting to soften. So for the next stage of cooking, I'm gonna add some garlic. And then I'm gonna add quite a bit of heavy cream because scalloped potatoes is definitely a creamy recipe. All right, and then I just need to stir a little bit just to make sure all the potatoes and onions are all coated in the cream. So now I'm gonna put the lid on and let it cook for another 6 or 7 minutes. All right, I'm gonna turn the heat off. This has been simmering away. And look, I'm not even gonna stir it at this point because the potatoes are looking absolutely amazing. They're very, very tender, and I don't wanna create kind of a mashed, mushed potato situation. So this is getting ready to go into the broiler, but first, I'm actually gonna add some strips of ham. And this is totally optional. You can also do cooked bacon if you want. Scalloped potatoes and ham.
It's a classic.
I mean, music to Alex's ears right there. And then a whole bunch of sharp cheddar cheese. And by whole bunch, I mean all the sharp cheddar cheese I could find in my fridge. But that's what scalloped potatoes are all about. At least in my world, they are. Scalloped potatoes, by definition, don't actually have to have cheese, but in my world, they do. All righty, now let's get this in the broiler, under the broiler, I should say. And there's really no hard and fast time. I'm just gonna put it in there and watch it, and then I'll pull it out when the cheese is melted and bubbly. I have high hopes.
Wow.
Oh gosh, look. Ooh, that's perfect. I wanted to kind of get it past that initial melted stage and make sure that the cheese and the edges of the potatoes got a little bit of brown.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what to say. Now, it's perfect just like it is, and the great thing about this dish is that you can pull it out 30, 45 minutes before dinner and it'll still be perfect. It's actually a little better if you let it sit before you serve. But to serve, I like to have some fun, and you can wait and do this right before or just do it straight out of the oven. Big old pile of sour cream and a whole bunch of sliced green onions. And then it's almost kind of like a baked potato, scalloped potato, casserole, whatever. But how good does that look?